The D3Hoops.com Classic continues here at the South Point Arena. Our next game features the co-ops of Puget Sound from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They take on the Waters from Puget Sound to Tacoma, Washington. Let's get the starting lineup. First to the visiting squad, the Puget Sound co-op. Starting the total with 5'15" junior, number 12, Alina. At guard for co-op, the 5'7" junior, number 5, Jordan Hall. At center for co, the 6'1" junior, number 34, Shelby Elena. At guard for co-op, the 5'8" senior, number 22, Nikki Hansey. At center guard, 5'10" junior, number 32, Jenna Levina. Goes head coach is Nate Oakland. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the home team in the Waters of Puget Sound. At forward, 5'9" sophomore, number 30, Elizabeth Pruitt. At guard for the Waters of 5'10", senior number 2, Alexis Marie. At center for Puget Sound, number 5'11", junior number 32, Claire Fitzgerald. At guard for the Waters of 5'9", freshman number 3, Caitlin Hallmark. And at guard 5'4", sophomore number 12, Simone Jackson. Puget Sound coaches Lori Payne, Maria Bauer, and Chris Kelly.
And welcome to the South Point Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada for Game 2. And we won't add up the total, but just say 6 today. But Game 2 of 14 overall of the D3Hoops.com Classic, the 7th annual. I am Dave McHugh alongside Pat Coleman as we get ready for our second IAC versus Northwest Conference battle. Call it the IAC Northwest
Challenge
Shootout. Here at the D3 Hoops Shootout. I like that better. Earlier, the first one won by Lewis and Clark, though they had a tough battle with Simpson. This time it is Puget Sound versus Co. Puget Sound in their home whites with maroon numbers and trim. We'll be moving left to right. The Co-Hawks of Co. are in their road crimson and gold uniforms with gold numbers and trim. And welcome in as we get going here to start this one. Puget Sound has possession. We hope you heard the starters, but we'll get you those as we move along here as well. As Puget Sound, number 23 ranked team in the country, gets things going with a miss off the bat by Hamill.
Not only did you hear the starters, you saw the starters.
Yes, you did. A little graphic interlude thanks to our crew at Blue Frame with production truck. We'll talk more about that later on. We'll even try and get you a scoreboard here, or graphic in a minute, as a miss for the Co-Hawks on their first opportunity as we are underway to 0-0. Remember, quarters here in women's basketball. And a nice layup inside gets Puget Sound on the scoreboard. And it's Claire Fitzgerald for 2. Man-to-man defense from the Loggers. Far side, 10-foot jumper. Far side, no good for Lehman. Shelby Lehman, the 6'1" forward, with a nice look, but missed the opportunity. Drive, off glass, no good for the Loggers. Rebound and shot, no good. It was by Fitzgerald. Goes out of bounds. Will be Co-Hawks possession.
Well, Puget Sound's had a couple of good looks at the basket here in the early going. Dave, as you mentioned, of course, they come in as the number 23 team in the country. They're 8-1 overall, coached by Lori Payne. Puget Sound out of the Northwest Conference, just like Lewis and Clark is, just like Pacific Lutheran, who we'll see later in this tournament. Co on the other side, they come in at 5-5 out of the Iowa Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, coached by Nate Oakland in his second season. And they are back in the tournament for the second time in the 7 years of the D3 Hoops Classic.
Good to see the Co-Hawks back as they looking to at least improve on that 5-5, maybe a deceptive 5-5 as the ball goes out of bounds. Last year, 15-12, trying to build off of that. We'll see how it progresses for them. This is obviously a tough matchup against a really good Lewis and Clark squad, if you listen, or Puget Sound squad, I should say, if you listened to Hoopsville a couple weeks ago, talked to Lori Payne about this team. They've got high expectations despite their youth. Very young squad, which if you're in the Northwest Conference, you're probably a little bit worried about. This team is not going away anytime soon. And I know we talked off air. This Northwest Conference is deep as we got 4 on the shot clock. Drive off glass and gets it to rattle in. Good shot and make by Hobbs that time as they are now on the scoreboard.
And I liked what the co-offense did there. They were very patient. They worked the ball around, finally got themselves a good look at the basket.
Despite my best efforts, it is 2-2 as we got 7:35 left to go here. In the first quarter, drive, fake on the kick out, and a nice kiss off glass, that time by Simone Jackson.
Jackson, leading scorer on the squad, leading three-point shooter on the squad, but can finish with the layup in traffic as well.
Nice fake on the kick, got her that open look as everyone bought it and looked outside. Kick inside. Well, skip pass to the near side. Nice dribble off the collection, and we'll get a blocking foul here as Lehman made a nice quick move after collecting the ball and drove the lane and picks up the foul.
Dave, you were talking about Coe's 5-5 being a little deceptive, just kind of breaking down into it. Of course, they've already played 2 of the toughest teams in the Iowa Conference already this season. They've lost to Luther at overtime. They lost to Wartburg, lost to UW-Whitewater, and those are 3 traditionally pretty strong teams in Division III women's basketball in the Midwest.
On the inbound, legal screen called, so Puget Sound will get the ball on the turnover. Should mention the 44s have entered the game for both teams. For Cole Riley Clausen, the Eldridge, Iowa native, and Jamie Lang for the Loggers, the Lake Tapps, Washington native. Inside, both teams playing man, though a little sagged off. Actually, Coe's in a 2-3, and the long jumper is good from Pruitt as the Loggers take a 6-2 early lead in this one.
Pruitt, not much from three-point range. That a couple steps inside, but she's 50% from the floor, so she knows what a good shot looks like.
Cohawks kick out. Nice idea. Now they'll drive in. Shot from about 5 off balance. Didn't need to be for Holmes. Fight for the rebound and finally collected by the Loggers, and they'll come the other direction with pace. Quickly up court, looking for Noreen. Noreen, fake move off glass and in, and quickly the Loggers have an 8-2 lead here in the first.
I like Noreen. First team all-conference player last year, of course. Averages double figures, team's leader in rebounds and assists. Just fills up the box score.
Talk about Puget Sound not going anywhere. Worst season they have had under Coach Lori Payne was 13-13. On the steal, drive in, off glass, no good. Rebound collected and put back in by Pruitt, but Jackson falls awkwardly after that, and a 30-second timeout called by Simpson will give Jackson a chance to take a break. Coe. Simpson was over there too when I've got the last game stuck in my head.
Semi-similar colors, but I don't think the Iowa Conference fans would appreciate the confusion.
No, I apologize, Iowa Conference fans.
One of the nice things about this tournament is how many people how many fans have come. You get a good look at, that doesn't look like a ton of people in a 3,000-seat arena, but considering that there are no local fans of Division III basketball, there's no Division III schools within X thousand miles of here. Okay, like a 5 or 6 hour drive. There's no local fan base, but Coe brought a bunch of people. Puget Sound brought a bunch of people. I know Hardin-Simmons later. We'll see. They've brought a bunch of fans. Simpson, UW-Eau Claire. It's nice to see people in the stands.
Yeah, probably one of the bigger crowds we've had in a while at this event. Reminder, by the way, 3 30s and 2 fulls for both teams in this 4-quarter format, and you have to use a 30 in the first half.
And the media timeouts, right?
Yeah, no, we're not using them. I'm starting to see them matriculate around Division III, though. As a long shot from the far side is no good for Mickey Hanshi. And Puget will respond by Noreen's long jumper. That falls hard off the back iron, and Cohawks will bring the ball down as both teams are willing to kind of go up the court with some pace, as we've seen early in this one.
I was just saying, pace of the game for us means something completely different. We don't want media timeouts because we have 6 games today. They have to fit into these 2-hour spots. Hour and 40 minutes.
It would reduce the number of timeouts the teams have.
I know, but those always seem to be longer.
4 seconds on the shot clock as the Cohawks looking for opportunity. It's under a second. Shot up, no good off the back iron, but the Cohawks get the offensive rebound. And the foul is going to be probably called on Caitlin Malvar, who goes down immediately to help her opponent off the floor, as Malvar does pick up the foul, the 5'9" freshman from Portland, Oregon.
So I know neither Gordon nor I were particularly accustomed to the tenths of a second ticking off on the shot clock. I wonder how the teams are, though.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, as it hits 2 seconds on the shot clock, it is shifting to tenths. And
so
really,
it it goes from 3 or 2 to 19.
To 19, yeah. It's not a NCAA rule as of yet. They've talked about it plenty of times.
Because
nice drive in and a block.
Because a lot of these rules, they're thought of with Division I in mind, and then Division II and Division III come in and say, hey, by the way, we can't afford to do those things.
Yeah.
So sometimes those rules come in. Sometimes they come in delayed for the other divisions.
It will happen. It's basically a software upgrade. The NBA has it under 10 seconds. We'll see when it... Yeah, so a little disconcerting in the first game.
But it's easier to read on those. I've seen it on those.
I agree with you.
As much as I watch the NBA, which is not
about one game a year for me.
I watch every game in the NBA that involves a Division III player.
There you go. Ball went out of bounds. Cohawks have it 3 seconds on the shot clock, trying to inbound it. 4:27 left. Long bomb off back iron. Shot clock goes off, but Puget Sound already had possession. Good, no whistle. There's Puget Sound will come the other direction.
Gordon, I'm not talking
4:17 left.
Gordon, I'm not talking about coaches or video coordinators or front office personnel with D3 background.
That gets complicated.
A lot of those.
Nice up the court movement with the ball by Coe. They get the basket inside. The shot good by Jenna Lehman. Don't be confused. There's Lehman and Lehman. The difference in their names is an extra N.
And the inflection of the vowel, which hopefully we'll get right all the time.
The extra N changes it from Lee to Lay.
Sure.
As the Cohawks get the turnover.
And probably it's just a Lehman family tradition.
That's probably
changes it from, or makes it Lehman, and Lehman family tradition makes it Lehman.
Coe with possession, trailing 10-4, drive in, and it's going to be a foul. Looks like it's going to be called on Hamill.
Hamill either surprised that she got whistled for it or surprised that she made contact, but either way, she's the one who gets called for it.
So I'll give 2 shots here for the Cohawks. Aline Hobbs, who is an 84.5% free throw shooter, best on the team, and clanks the first one. That's what happens when you mention the free throw shooting percentage.
Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah, they will immediately clank it.
She's not a 100% free throw shooter. Very few people are.
Second one up, and back iron. She just felt awkward, but the Cohawks get the rebound, so they get another opportunity for some extra points here, or in this case, points in general. In possession, it's Goodman, the 5'5 freshman guard from Scottsdale, Arizona. Didn't start, but has obviously taken over the control of the offense as her pass is deflected out of bounds by Limper, and into the game for the Loggers is Pruitt back into the game. She's joined by Ray Allen in the game, as well as at least Noreen takes a seat, and I believe as well with Fitzgerald. Cohawks have possession, 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Nice kick inside, off glass, and good. Good look from Goodman, good finish by Clausen. Puget Sound, I'm going to do that for a little while before I realize we've switched teams from both conferences.
Dave didn't even call the first game, but he's very intimately involved in it because of the production aspect here.
Jackson's foot on the line long jumper was no good.
That's it. We need to cap it at one team per conference. That way they'll make it less.
Spread the games out. Switch conferences for me.
Oh, well, it's hard to do that. There's 3 teams from the Northwest Conference.
Back iron 3, no good from Smith.
For the year we had a WIAC Northwest Conference men's basketball challenge here.
No, I remember that, yep. As a foul inside, as getting possession was Clark. She was fouled behind by Clausen. Clausen, a freshman center at 6'1 from Eldridge, as we mentioned. Hasn't started any games this season. Has played in every single game. Back into the game for the Cohawks is Lehman. They'll add a little bit more size inside for the Cohawks. Nice pass on the curl inside. Now they'll kick out 3 on the way. Off iron and backboard, no good for Pruitt. Pruitt is a 23% three-point shooter, and that one was just a little bit off, as it's still 10-6. Puget Sound, 2:24 left in the first quarter. Nice drive off the pass, off glass, no good. A lot of opportunities for both teams are falling short, especially the Cohawks, who've had a lot of looks inside. Three-pointer falls way short.
Well, and is this the time where we start talking about the shooting angles at this end of the building?
It's always possible.
We're here for game 2. It's new for this game.
It's a definitely depth perception, and for Puget Sound, who's only had one practice in this gym, they got here the 26th, had an hour look, and Coach Fain said she didn't like how it looked after an hour, so they went over to UNLV and she ran them for 90 minutes. So they haven't shot a ton in this gym to maybe get used to what is the deeper end on the right-hand side. I remember bringing that up last year and it ended up not being a factor, but it looks like maybe early on this year it could be. Shot from the top of the key. No good, as Coe is shooting early and often and not necessarily coming up with baskets, as we're still at 10-6.
Say early and often and not well.
No. A lot of iron, not a lot of net. Splitting the double team. How did that one fall? Simone Jackson splits a double team and gets a circus basket to fall, and it doubles up the score 12-6. Goodman kicks to Hobbs. Hobbs will kick back outside and back inside to Hobbs, who gets it to finish inside to cut the deficit to 4.
Hobbs, certainly like most players, a little more effective from 5 feet than from 23.
Noreen back into the game, has possession, sends it over to her teammate Malvar. Finds herself at the free throw line, hesitation, and then drives off glass.
Nice move. Nice move, especially a heady decision for a freshman who has only played in 5 of the 9 games this season, so not a lot of experience even for a freshman.
And a very nice move up the top. And then she gets nearly the steal there, but Goodman gets in there and is able to collect the ball and keep the possession alive as we're down to 12 seconds on the shot clock. Probably an unwise three-pointer shot there, almost forced.
Nobody's made a 3 at all this first quarter.
Nope, as we hit 38 seconds left to go in the quarter. And a nice shot from the far side. Noreen proves us wrong as she hits the first three-pointer of the game.
1 for 8 for Puget Sound, 0 for 5 for Coe from downtown.
Ball goes out of bounds, and the remaining Cohawks possession is trying to get it to Huber. So Goodman will inbound the ball here. God, I love the officials here. Keep the ball movement. I didn't waste any time with that ball getting back inbounds.
Well, and point that out because a Coe has a sub that was late to the table.
That's exactly how I noticed it.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have gotten in my region. That would have been. Oh, and Puget Sound with miscommunication there, and finally collects the ball. 5 seconds left on the game clock. Plenty of time to drive the lane. Cannot get it to fall.
Well, good final minute and a half or so of this first quarter for Puget Sound especially. Big 3 takes it from 14-8, where Coe had an opportunity with the ball in their hands to make it a one-possession game. Instead, it goes the other way. Puget Sound answers with the only 3 of the first quarter, and then a nice defensive stop. Unable to get the roll there at the end, but still a very productive first quarter for the Loggers.
Puget Sound does lead 17-8, and again, we talk about this Northwest Conference, Pat, and how stacked it looks like it's going to be yet again. We've seen 3 teams on the women's side get in. It's not unusual. This year, it's certainly stacking up that way. It's almost going to be, geez, the 4th team didn't get in. And,
always possible. It could be. Obviously, there's a long way to go. But, now is the time of the year where here in the next couple of weeks, the entire Division III non-conference slate for the Northwest Conference and for a lot of conferences will be all locked up.
Right.
So what will happen then will be, the question is, how much do teams beat each other up? Do you end up with a lot of teams who are in that conference is going to be like 10-6 or something like that, or do you end up with a 15-1, 14-2, 13-3, 12-4 types? That's the opportunity where you really have to make some hay. But the problem is, as always, we talked about it in the first game, is that you don't have a lot of non-conference opponents in Division III within driving distance of any of those schools. So they end up playing a lot of games against Concordia Portland and Multnomah Bible and University of Walla Walla, which does absolutely 0 on the Division III scale. It doesn't mean anything to any member of any selection committee ever. So it's good that they have opportunity to come to events like this, where we've had Northwest Conference teams in the past, and we've had Iowa Conference teams in the past as well, to get some good quality, or just any non-conference games against Division III opponents.
Back underway here in the second quarter as the Cohawks have possession. 17-8, though, their deficit to Puget Sound, the number 23 ranked team in the D3Hoops.com top 25, and a foul will be called on the attempt to drive by Jordan Holmes, who's back in the game. She didn't get a lot of minutes, as Leah Goodman had a lot more of the possession point guard responsibilities in that first quarter.
Quick first quarter stats. Co 4 of 17 from the floor, 0 for 8 from downtown, even over 2 from the foul line. Turnovers even, just 2 for Co, 1 for Puget Sound. Puget Sound 8 of 16 from the floor, 1 of 6 from downtown, and rebounding even as well, 12 to Co, 11 for Puget Sound.
Shot by Henchey goes over the rim, and Puget Sound gets the easy rebound. Will get their first possession of the second quarter. They are, of course, in their home whites with maroon numbers and trim, and they are moving left to right across your monitor. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I'm Dave McHugh. He is Pat Coleman. Gordon Mann alongside us, as well as a shot by Melvar clanks off. Her shots have been a little bit flat. They've been hitting the iron.
You know, I've been thinking we should say left to right across your screen.
Well,
these are your device.
Yep, that's true.
You know?
Though if you walked away from the device and it's in your head, that's a good point, though. Nice feed inside off glass. And 2 points for Puget Sound.
Your screen can be in your head. If we're doing a really good job calling the game.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to walk away from an exciting game.
No, that's true. But I meant if we were doing a really good job calling the game, you picture it in your head.
Nice use of a couple screens there by Lehman, and is able to get 2 points. Basically came over the top of a couple screens at the free throw line, able to get that to fall. 19-10, Puget Sound the lead. Couple up and under looks there that time. Puget Sound gets the 2 points right back. Fitzgerald finishes inside. That's an 11-point lead here for Puget Sound.
You know, I mean, Co's down by 11. They still have the opportunity to be patient. There's no need to pressure. There's no need to, play yourself out of your offense and try to make something happen in a hurry. But, that's something that's difficult to do.
And she's a 39% shooter, forced another one on the far side, and the return from Puget Sound is a three-pointer from nearly the top of the key from Pruitt.
Back. 7 points on the afternoon.
I was just going to say, Hanshe's now put up a couple shots, and that was the one that looked the closest to going in, but she had a person in her face. Clearly, Puget Sound has marked her as trouble, and will keep an eye on her. She's a 38% shooter from beyond the arc coming into the game, as inside possession was Hobbs. She double-teamed to get the foul call.
One of the reasons Co's having trouble, Dave, is just Puget Sound. First of all, they have a little bit of height on the perimeter in terms of defense, and they're active out there. They get out there, they're on top of the person with the ball really quickly. There's not an open look for them to shoot, and then they don't have a ton of size underneath, and that kind of hurts them as well.
Hobbs will go here to shoot. 2. As I said, she was in the act of shooting. Checking into the game for the Co-Hawks comes Shelby Lehman. And Puget Sound brings in at least one new player. Mara Henderson, the 5'9 freshman, comes in from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. She's also joined by Jamie Lang, who had entered the game earlier. Interesting enough, Co had nobody on the line for the first shot, and now sends 2 players into the box for the second shot. Puget Sound keeps the ball from going out of bounds, as she only made 1 and make it 24-11. Loggers, 3 on the way, no good from Jackson. Kick outside, 3 on the way. This time rattles off the rim by Pruitt.
Getting Lehman into the game gives Co a little bit more height. They've got more height there, but not as much size. There's still not as much muscle underneath as they are when Puget Sound is battling with Lang in the perimeter.
Quick 3 from Lehman. No good, and we go back the other direction. Still a 13-point game. This is about when Lewis and Clark started to lose their lead to Simpson. Not sure if Co's going to be able to do the same, but this is about that transitional point in the last game.
Well, and we talked with the coach after the game, and part of that was just lack of conditioning. After a couple weeks off, just one practice, you get an opportunity, like Coach Payne did for Puget Sound, to maybe run them a little extra, but that's not a lot after 3 weeks off.
Nice shot off of the inbounds play. Pruitt buries the 15-footer, and it's up to a 15-point lead for the Loggers.
Pruitt leads all scorers with 9 points right now, also leads everybody with 5 rebounds.
Far side into the game, shot off glass and rim, no good for Goodman.
Goodman listed at 5'5". Going to be awfully difficult for her to get a shot off on the perimeter because 5'5" is what she's listed at.
And she is shorter than anybody else on the floor, including whoever is guarding her, which so far has been a much bigger target. 12 seconds on the shot clock is into the hands of Henderson. Will try and feed it inside to Lang. 5 on the shot clock. Henderson back with possession. 3 seconds. She puts it up from 10 feet. No good. And the Cohawks come down with a rebound.
Well, I like Lang. She did Henderson. She did a nice job there to get herself open, just unable to finish, and that's something that'll probably come with time. As a freshman who doesn't have a whole lot of experience at this level.
Ball's loose. I got an official between me and the possession, so I have really no idea what was going on. I guess I could have looked at the screen. There's a foul call. That's what I can tell you. And that will put nobody in the double bonus, as there's been a relatively foul-free game. Is back into the game for the Cohawks comes number 23, Destiny Smith. Yes, knock on wood.
Yeah,
I should point out.
Puget Sound kind of drawing players from all over the place, much like Lewis and Clark did. A lot of kids from Oregon, of course, but all of these schools draw from Hawaii, obviously Washington, state of California. But Mara Henderson, who puts up the shot there and hits the 16-footer, she's the only one from Minnesota, and I just have to point that out. St. Louis Park, a Minneapolis suburb, not one of the powers in girls basketball in the state, but it's a good opportunity for her to go out of state and go find a school to play at.
Mayak obviously missed her.
Well, she may have just wanted to go to Puget Sound.
Exactly. Tried to feed inside and gotten her hand in the passing lane was Lang, and here come the Loggers the other direction, but nice job of getting back on defense by Smith, who deflects it out of bounds. Nearly got the steal. As we've got 5:08 left to go here in the second quarter, as subbing back into the game is Rayanne Allen, 5'11 freshman, and she will give Jamie Lang the break. Got a lot of freshmen and sophomores on this Puget Sound team, and they're playing so well.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing about the Loggers for a while.
Yeah. Jackson off glass and gets it to roll through, and the lead has exploded.
That was pretty.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it is a 19-point game, but that was pretty.
And Henderson gets the steal off the lob pass intended. And she gets the layup. That was intended for Destiny Smith. And not surprisingly, Nate Oakland wants to talk this one over and calls timeout.
Well, and he wanted to talk it over very intently with Leah Goodman, his freshman guard, about something on a previous possession. He was out and really intense in the conversation before gesturing everybody back to the huddle here. But it's been a struggle of the last few minutes here for Co here.
Yeah, the lob pass that Henderson intercepted, that Henderson basically camped underneath of, was nowhere close to the target. The target was supposed to be Destiny Smith, who was another 5 feet away from where the ball landed. And I'm quite sure Coach Oakland, the Northern Iowa grad, was spotted that and was displeased with the effort, especially when the team is now rolling the other direction. This Puget Sound run is not nearly the same, 18-3, but feels a little like when we saw Amherst open up a couple years back.
Well, Co is
the difference being that ended up about 50-0 by the time it finally ended.
Yeah, I mean, Co's a lot more competent at bringing the ball up the floor.
Yeah.
They've struggled here. We talked about when Co is even able to get into their half-court set, which they have not been able to do so much here in the course of the last few possessions. The problem is that Puget Sound has size inside. Puget Sound has enough size advantage on the perimeter that that it makes it difficult for them to get an open shot from the outside as well. Co doesn't have a good opportunity. There's not a hole here in the Puget Sound defense for the Co offense to work in effectively right now.
Hesitation drive, and Lehman misses a shot, but the putback is good, and Co temporarily stems the tide.
Yep. Now, Lehman no good, but Lehman with a follow.
There we go. 4:19 left to go here.
Second quarter here, 15 of 27 from the floor, make it 16 of 28 for Puget Sound. 5 of 22 from the 1 of 5 from the floor, 5 of 22 for the game for Co.
Ray Allen using the square behind the rim effectively.
That's what it's there for.
It is.
I'm pretty sure that's why James Naismith put it behind his peach basket.
And a nice feed inside, but unable to fall for Lehman. And quickly the Loggers will come up ahead. Malvar will put up a circus shot that falls.
Man, and it's really hard to defend when shots like that fall. I mean, what are you going to do?
What Jackson did earlier, Malvar improved upon. And it's 36-13, 3:35 left to go here in the half.
Jackson a sophomore and Malvar a freshman.
Yeah, get used to it. Northwest Conference and the rest of the country, this Puget Sound team is going to be around. And as we mentioned, in 7 years, Lori Payne's never had a worse than 13-13 season.
Again, Coe kind of goes in uncontrolled, ends up turning the ball over.
Yep. Nice feed inside, off glass, no good. Henderson fighting for the rebound. Which way will this go? It'll go against Henderson. Neither team anywhere close to a shooting bonus scenario here. So we will just inbound the ball. Definitely one of the advantages, I think, with this quarters setup is the fact that we don't go to the free throw line nearly as often.
I would agree with you there.
I mean, last game we had him at one of the quarters going to the free throw line halfway through the quarter. Well, it reset for the next quarter, so we didn't sit there watching the free throws for the rest of the game. It allows the game to be a little bit quicker. I have a sneaky suspicion as Coe's able to get that to fall that the men will follow suit next
Are you
rule
sure you said
cycle.
sneaky or sinking?
No, I sneaky because I don't think it's a bad thing. So
okay.
Sinking would be bad, and I think men will go to it. Noreen off glass and gets it to fall as Puget Sound is just pouring it on.
No, they're just hitting everything.
Yeah. After having a little bit of a rough start on that end of the floor, they are now found everything inside to fall, and even their outside shots are starting to find the range. 2:33 left to go in the half, and they lead 38-15. Skip pass to the near side. Far shot. Oh, halfway down. Cannot fall for Smith. As Puget Sound gets yet another rebound as the Cohawks had bailed out. Noreen with it at the elbow. Inside to her teammate Lang, who gets fouled before the shot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just a sign for a layman of just being tired, right? You know, you don't have enough energy to move your feet. The pace of the game is not the way that, I don't know if it's the way that Coe wants to play it. I mean, they do average 74 points a game, so they do like to move the ball up and down the floor, but they're having a real tough time keeping up with Puget Sound, and we saw it in that foul right there.
If anything, you'd want to slow it down against this Puget Sound team, despite the fact you play an up-tempo style. You almost want to flip it.
It's going to be tough now when you're down by 23.
Absolutely. Lang inside, beats her defender in Lehman, and then Lehman comes from behind and fouls her.
Lehman, the team shot blocker with 6 on the season, but that will not be added to her total.
So Lang, who's an 82% free throw shooter, will go to the line and get 2 here. First one is up and smoothly goes through.
Yeah, you see, sometimes when you mention a free throw percentage, it doesn't jinx the opponent, but nobody ever talks about that.
No.
It's only the outliers that we talk about.
And the second one falls to make it 40-15. And just like that, it is a 25-point ball game.
18 of 31 from the floor for Puget Sound. Coe, 7 of 27, and sometimes I'm kind of impressed that they've gotten 27 shots off, but 17 of them were in the first quarter.
Nice effort on the inside. It's going to fall. Good effort by Hobbs to earn that one. She'll go to line for the three-point opportunity here.
I tell you, she's just working here in an environment where she's given up a lot of size. Things are not working out real well for her. Things are not working out for any of them in terms of offense. She finishes the three-point play.
Both teams now in that double bonus scenario for the next minute 45. We'll shoot 2 free throws on every foul. And if you're Coe, maybe that'll be a way to chip into this deficit.
I finally saw the replay on the stream. She did a nice job of working one direction, then back again to get around Lang.
Kick out. 3 on the way. Front iron no good. Ball deflected out of bounds. Will belong to Coe.
The lag on YouTube is a little too long for me to effectively use this as a replay monitor.
We actually, believe it or not, have capabilities of adding replay into this production. I just have chosen so many bells and whistles that we will use. And that one hasn't. Maybe on a big last-second shot, if we get a hard collision on the attempted screen. Probably a good no call. I think both players just collided, as finally finding the range there was Hanshi. As she hits the 3, and it's cuts deficit to 19. Steele on the pass was a little late for the cutting team, and then Noreen with the block out of bounds after Holmes went up for the shot. Holmes and Noreen, the last 2 possessions have met, whether physically or in that case with a shot block out of bounds.
And as that turnover happened back in the backcourt, I'm thinking, if I'm Coe, I want to slow this down. And then I realized, no, if I'm Coe, I need to push this up because you may not have an opportunity in the half court.
And Hobbs gets it quickly off the inbounds and has cut the deficit to 17. An 8-0 run here for Puget Sound. You got to use one in the first half, and Coach Payne decides to use her timeout here. And they will call timeout, and probably a good spot with an 8-0 run.
Yeah, exactly. Good time for them to just kind of reset and settle down. Obviously, this game is not in danger of getting out of hand even here in this second quarter, right? Co has basically an opportunity at maybe one more possession, and even then, the best they can do is cut it to 14. But if you're Puget Sound, you don't want to get complacent here. You don't want to let Co think that they have an opportunity to get back into the game if you have the potential to make sure that they don't.
He is back home, and I am Dave McHugh. We're courtside for the 7th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. This is Game 2 of 6 today and Game 2 of 14. Of course, we want to thank this broadcast is presented in part with the production truck software by Blue Frame Technology. We thank them for their partnership to help present the 7th annual D3Hoops.com Classic.
I like graphics. Graphics are cool.
I'm telling you, I've told the guys, they're probably listening in, I was going to go have a 10-minute conversation with these gentlemen about their software, and I walked away an hour later.
Yeah, Noreen, unable to finish, had a decent look at it underneath, and now Co's got an opportunity to take the last shot here.
So Co does have that opportunity as we hit 20 seconds left to go. Looking forward to seeing what maybe they can do on this possession. Five seconds left. Going to have to do something and throw the ball away is what they do. As the clock takes an extra second and a half there, but I do not suspect anybody is going to complain.
All right. Coach Payne could have complained if she wanted to, I'm sure.
And
get
we're
a good look.
Under a second and does not fall. So we are at halftime. And Pat, definitely a game difference in two games is, Lewis and Clark got out on Simpson and Simpson came back. This Puget Sound team would have none of that. Yes, Co nibbled and worked their way back in, but Puget Sound had an answer every time they tried.
Well, and yeah, Puget Sound played an excellent, really, 18 minutes of basketball, right? Just the last minute and a half or so, things kind of struggled a little bit for them, but it was a good opportunity for them to kind of get out, run a little bit more, run a lot. I mean, that's basically how Puget Sound ran out to this big lead, is they literally ran the ball up and down the floor, mostly up the floor, and did a good job getting the turnovers. The rebounding is pretty even, but Co turned the ball over 8 times. Puget Sound took care of the ball very well. They only turned it over twice. They got 12 points off of those turnovers. Just all sorts of things worked really well in that first half for Puget Sound, Dave.
So Puget Sound takes the lead into the halftime against Co, 40-23. We've got 20 more minutes of basketball to be played. Don't forget, as we mentioned,
20 more minutes of basketball
of this game,
and then 4 more games.
We've got 4 more games to mention, and let's take a look at those as we. Well, I grabbed the wrong thing there. Hold on a second. I'm doing multiple things, folks. If you haven't figured that out yet,
that never happens.
Nope.
Dave, multicasting.
Here's your lineup for the rest of the day. Puget Sound and Co playing as we speak. We got Wisconsin Eau Claire versus Stevens coming up to finish out the women's side of this classic, coming up at 2 p.m. Pacific time, barring any delay. Game 4 will start the men's side. Ramapo will take on number 5 Salisbury. That's scheduled for 4 p.m. Pacific. Gustavus Adolphus will take on number 11 Wisconsin Eau Claire at 6 p.m. And then Wheaton of Illinois will take on UC Santa Cruz, the Banana Slugs, to round out Game 6 of today. And again, tomorrow's broadcast will start again at 10 a.m. Pacific time as well. So that is our schedule the rest of the way, but we still got to get through this game to even get to Game 3. And as we mentioned, it is Puget Sound up on Co at the half. We'll be back with more from the D3Hoops.com Classic in a bit.
Did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that.
It's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
Our obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn that in giving, we receive so much more in return. Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all. It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I used to never really talk. Ever. I was scared and shy. It was hard to look at people's faces. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. I made friends and won lots of gold medals. But I learned more than just playing golf. Special Olympics helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
For the love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that. A lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. And in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III. I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
This is our It's On Us pledge. It's on us to make a personal commitment to help keep all people safe from sexual assault, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or ability.
Not to be bystanders to the problem, but to be leaders of the solution. We invite you to join us in this campaign by informing your campuses about the It's On Us mission.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass. And cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success. And prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
And welcome back as we get ready for the second half. Quick look at the stats you see there for Co. 31% from the floor, 54.5% for Puget Sound. Co. 1 for 14 from beyond the arc. Puget Sound not much better at 2 for 11. Rebounds, interesting, Co. out-rebounding Puget Sound 21-19. But look at the turnover. 8 for Co. 2 for the Sounders.
You didn't, for the Loggers, you didn't circle that with your telestrator.
I did not. I apologize. I meant to grab that. Just didn't get there.
Get the download the Telestrator app. You got a little stylus. Oh, you have an iPhone, no styluses.
Believe it or not, this technology, they're working at maybe doing that.
Nice.
As we are underway in the third quarter, I'm Dave McHugh. He is Pat Coleman, and Co-Hawks start with a steal. They are going left to right across your screen in their road reds, and a steal right back. Nope, calling it a jump ball, as Noreen nearly stole the ball back from
Holmes.
Thank you.
5 and 5. That's not right.
Noreen's 2.
Yeah. Just 1-5, but it was a 5.
As we're underway here in the third quarter, Co-Hawks trailing by 17. Have trailed by as many as 25. Three-pointer far side is no good for Holmes.
Yeah,
the other direction.
But a good look for Holmes, and the kind of shot that if they can get those off and get some of them to fall, could help them get back in this game a little bit.
Noreen cannot get the shot to go over the rim, but the second one falls.
And meanwhile, if you're Puget Sound, keys here for the second half, and just continue to do what you do. Don't get complacent. Continue to push the ball up and down the floor. Hope your shots fall, but if they don't, they've done a pretty good job of fighting for rebounds, and they've created a lot of turnovers.
Nice work to get inside, and the basket is good from Jenna Lehman. So Co-Hawks coming out both in a zone 3-2 defense, but also coming out with a little bit of fire on the offensive side. I highly suspect Coach Oakland had a few inspiring words at halftime as they get another steal on defense, and here comes Holmes the other direction.
I thought you were going to say something else about fire.
Yeah.
There's certainly an opportunity to be a little fired up if you're a coaching staff for Co about the way that first half went down. It was just unpretty in pretty much all facets of the game.
8:34 left to go here in the third quarter. Three-pointer, top of the key, back iron, no good. They are now 1 for 16 from beyond the arc after Lehman's miss, and the ball goes out of bounds. And Puget Sound is off to a little bit of a sluggish start in this second half as they've turned the ball over 3 times out of 4 occasions. And it is Holmes versus Jackson at the top of the key, and now handed off to Hobbs. Hobbs drives in, off glass, no good. Rebound collected by Malvar. She'll control it on the way up the court. Again, the 3-2 zone here from the Cohawks. Haven't seen that in the first half. Seven seconds on the shot clock. Kick inside. No good. And a traveling violation got called on Noreen as there was 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Pruitt trying to run baseline, got the pass, just could not hold on to it. Kind of basically bobbled it to her teammate and unable to make something out of it. And, you know, Puget Sound, of course, great first half, great first 8 minutes of the second quarter. But as you said, a little sluggish here, and they need to figure out some way to kind of recapture that intensity, even if you're up by 17.
Foul on the shot will give the Cohawks a chance to shoot some free throws. First half, they were 2 of 5 on that category, as Lehman will go to the line, a 75% free throw shooter on the season. Started every game for 3 years for this squad as she misses the first one. 12.8 points per game for her career. She's 19.8 this season. Points per game. Certainly trying her best for this Cohawk squad as she hits the second. Hits 1 out of 2, cuts the deficit to 16.
Yeah. Lehman and Lehman combined for just 6 points in the first half. It was Hobbs leading the way with 10.
Nearly got the steal. Kick inside. And defense gives up on the play. Gave an opportunity there for Lehman, who was unable to get the fall. Gets the rebound. Almost gets the circus shot to fall. And the Hobbs picks up the rebound and will go the other direction. Correction, that was actually Fitzgerald with the shots and rebound.
I guess it was just the barest hint of a ball fake, and everybody on Co seemed to completely bite on it.
Almost just turned her back and went, well, she ain't shooting.
A mental ball fake.
Another foul called on the dribble, as checking in for the Cohawks comes Destiny Smith, the 5'8 freshman guard from Monmouth, Illinois. She replaces the taller Taylor Anderson, who's listed at 5'7". They actually say Smith's an inch taller, but it doesn't look that way when they stand next to each other. Driving in off glass for Hanchey. She's had a rough game. I think she's made 1 shot so far in this one. She is 1 of 6 now on the game. She's had a couple that have been nowhere close and a couple like that just didn't roll for her. Shot on the baseline, no good for Pruitt. And here come the Cohawks the other direction, trailing by 16, 6:25 left to go in the third. Drive in, off glass, it's good for Hobbs. And Cohawks showing some life here against a Puget Sound team who's back on their heels a little bit.
No, it's just the intensity is not there right now for the Loggers.
Pruitt thought about driving and shooting, couldn't get it to fall. Fitzgerald now has it, kicks outside. Pump fake on the 3 by Malvar. Nice drive inside and kicks to Pruitt, who's coming in on the help side for the easy layup.
That's a better finish, and I liked Malvar's intensity on that possession. Also Fitzgerald, too.
Far side, 3 on the way, back iron, no good for Smith. And Malvar will slow the ball down and get it over to Noreen at the top of the key and back to Malvar. Puget Sound in their home whites and maroon numbers and trim, moving right to left across your screen. 3-pointer, top of the key, nothing but the bottom of the net for Simone Jackson.
Leading 3-point shooter on the squad, and you can kind of see why. Just a pretty little catch and shoot from about 22, and she buried it.
Lehman, a lot of work. No effort, or no result. Destiny Smith, in the meantime, drives in, expected to get a call, didn't get it, and missed the shot. Malvar thought about the 3, skip past it to the 3-point shooting specialist, who buries it.
Yeah, back-to-back ones. That's a much tougher shot, too, Dave. It's from the wing as opposed to straight on. There's a defender out in her face a little bit more, and plus about another step back as well.
Off the front iron, no good, as now the Cohawks, who came out starting well, are starting to press a little bit as Holmes hits the shot early in the shot clock. Feed inside to Fitzgerald, outside Pruitt. Long shot, no good over the back iron, and an inadvertent hand to the face causes Holmes to hit the deck, and Noreen and Holmes have had a lot of collisions in this game, and Noreen comes over and apologizes and checks in with Holmes on it as we get mass substitutions. Checking in for the Cohawks. I think the first time it's Lakeland Bolts, the 5'6 sophomore guard from Iowa.
little bit more on Simone Jackson, not only the leading shooter by percentage, but coming into the tournament, 26 of 72 from downtown. She's taken well more than a third of all the three-point attempts for Puget Sound. And, well, I think deservedly so at 36% and a couple of pretty ones that we saw here in the third quarter.
Long three from Bolts, no good. She's a 22% three-point shooter, and that one took the back iron. As so far, the Cohawks have hit a lot of iron today. Pump fake, drive in, kick, and not anticipating the pass or a little bit too low for Hamill. One of the two goes out of bounds.
I thought Jackson was going to put that one up as well.
Yeah, she definitely looked serious enough.
She was only 21-6 out, so she was much closer than the two that she actually hit.
Taylor Huber enters the game, 5'11" freshman forward from Alburnett, Iowa. Thought about it, top of the key there by Goodman. Instead, she kicks to the near side wing, and the shot no good from Smith.
No second chance shots for Co. Not a lot of attempt at a second chance shot either. Smith, freshman, shooting from behind the arc. Feel free to consider sticking around for a rebound.
Lang's shot no good. Kick outside, three on the way. Back iron no good for Jackson.
Man.
Lang collects the rebound. Noreen will control it.
She almost had that one as well, though, Dave.
Oh, that was looking pretty darn good. Shot from the elbow is buried. Tough shot from Rayanne Allen.
Rayanne Allen, freshman out of Washougal, Washington. Just a nice, pretty shot there.
And Co wants to talk it over again and calls timeout. As they now trail 52-28, 3:20 in the third.
Exactly. It had gotten down to about a 14-point game or so, and now it's back out to 24, which is, I'm looking for
almost
that.
The largest.
Yeah,
25 was your largest.
I'm trying to. I know where all these stats are on
I
this
like it
box
when they're
score.
Put on the box score. I can't tell you how many times I don't get that information on a box score.
Couldn't find it for a second.
Again, this is just game.
You sound so tired when you say that.
Let
me give it a shot.
There, okay, go for it.
Game 2 of 6 today. Game 2 of 14 here at this D3Hoops.com Classic. Dave's going to get you a look at what we've already had and what's coming up here on the screen. First of all, we started this morning with a win by Lewis and Clark as they defeated Simpson. This game going on right now between Puget Sound and Co. will be followed by the UW Eau Claire women against Stevens, and then 3 men's games coming up later this evening to get through this first day of 3 at the D3Hoops.com Classic. See, I've got energy for that.
That was nice. That was well done. I was taking a deep breath for the long read. The shot no good. Lang comes down with a rebound.
Dave's
Here
just
comes
like,
Puget Sound
I've got this brand new awesome production software, but I'm going to have to be here at all of these games in order to run it.
Well, no. No. You guys are going to see a few tricks.
I hope so. Teach me how to do it.
They're not too hard. Steal for the Cohawks off the kind of lazy pass. Faked the shot to Goodman. She put it up in position like, hey, I'm going to shoot it. Someone bought it, and she dribbled into trouble, though. Goes down to the baseline, tried to kick it outside to Bolts, and threw it out of bounds. Bolts played 25 games last year, now playing all 11 so far this season as well.
Goodman, a freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, meaning she's only about a 5-hour drive from here. Her
It's not bad. It's
Yep.
not bad.
It's pretty close, all things considered. So having a little struggle here, though, in the first game of the tournament. She's got the rebound there.
Allen tried to duplicate the elbow shot she buried earlier, and this one does not fall. 2:15 left to go here. Co still staring down a 52-28 deficit. At this point, it's about making sure you execute. Swing around. 3 on the way. Rattles home for Goodman.
There you go. Goodman, whatever members of the Goodman family or fan club have made the trip out here, got to see a little highlight there.
She's played a lot of minutes in this game. She's definitely a good look for Co in the future. 3-pointer far wing, and Puget Sound answers off the 3 from Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, trading shot for shot will be just fine for Puget Sound here the rest of the way.
Yeah. And the ball will go out of bounds and remain Cohawks' possession. As they say, Lang last touched it. And Malvern will check back in along with Drew Clark for the first time, 6-foot sophomore from Kingston, Washington. And Pruitt will re-enter the game as well. 96 seconds here left in the third.
I just wanted to get some of the Hawaii hometown names in here so we can have some fun with pronouncing those. Nice finish there by Destiny Smith off the inbound.
Destiny Smith buries that one, and the deficit now down to 22, 55-33, and they're in that round. Yeah, they're in that 3-2. Sticking with that so far in the third. It's worked to some degree. Puget Sound has slowed down a bit, and at halftime they had 40 points. They have 55 now.
That is something that's effective. A zone does tend to slow the opposing offense down.
Pruitt with 2 seconds on the shot clock, misses the shot. Destiny Smith comes flying in, collects the rebound, and a nice job of keeping the dribble alive. As she was on the ground, though, I think the officials are being kind to her right now because she has gotten away with about 4 carries.
5. I haven't seen a carry.
Maybe a 6.
I haven't seen a carry called all season.
And the ball swatted out of bounds by Allen on Smith's shot.
Never mind that I've been doing D3 football all November and December.
They have a different kind of carry there. It's legal there.
This is my second game of the season.
Mara Henderson back into the game for Puget Sound. 41.9 seconds left. As we stare down the last 33 seconds, Puget Sound with possession. We've got about a 12-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Is taking a hard fall is Clark, who just got in the game, and she's wincing. Pruitt with the shot gets it to fall, so Clark's going to exit this game as quickly as she entered it.
Yeah.
As she collided, it looked like knees with another player, and she is in a great deal of pain. Claire Fitzgerald will re-enter for Drew Clark.
To put it in perspective for the Iowa people who may be watching, I give 2 points for the takedown.
Yeah, good call.
One for the reversal.
That definitely hurt. And she will get tended to by staff on the far sideline. 18 seconds left to go in the quarter. For Co, it's a matter of execution. There's no shot clock here, so execution and get the shot to fall to finish on a high note of what's been a pretty solid third quarter, despite the fact the score isn't indicative of that. Three-pointer from deep, buried it! Big shot from Bolts at the end of the third quarter. Cuts the deficit to 21, but you could see that at least the team's fired up, and she was excited about getting that one to fall.
Yeah, it makes it 17-13 for the quarter, which makes it the most competitive quarter they've played. And they did have some things that worked for them, Dave, right? You know, they found a way to get some shots within the framework of their offense that worked out for them well. But it's very difficult to defend Puget Sound right now, or to play defense against Puget Sound, just to be super clarified about that, because Puget Sound's just hitting all sorts of things. A lot of things are working for them, and it's going to be really difficult for Co to erase 21 points in the fourth quarter. But, you know, sometimes, of course, those things aren't impossible. And also, you've got another game here at the Classic that you want to build some positive momentum for as well.
Interesting enough for Co, we talk about their team. Randy Peterson Henderson, you might remember her. Mm-hmm. Was an assistant at Wartburg for 4 years. Might have been a head coach at one point, I want to say.
She was a head coach in Division III, right?
Yeah, she was, but I don't remember. No, but I don't remember where, but somewhere in the conference.
Well, then, of course, also right on the bench is Kayla Wasco, who is in the D3Hoops.com Classic record book with the best field goal percentage in a game. She was 10 of 11, 90.9% from the floor here in the 2012 Classic against Laverne.
And Randy Peterson I've had on the show. That's how I know she was a head coach somewhere. Maybe it was at Wartburg after she was an assistant there for a while.
I'm going to fire up the Google machine.
The Google machine is firing as we get ready for the fourth quarter here. Puget Sound again leading. 57-36 as we get ready to go underway here at the 7th Annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Puget Sound with possession, moving right to left in their home whites with red numbers and trim.
You understand you're misreading the thing, right?
Huh?
That's not a list of assistants. That's a reminder that Oakland assistant
totally
Peterson.
Misread that.
That's
there
why.
we go.
I was like,
totally misread that. I was wondering why I hadn't seen her here today.
That's because she's not here today.
She's not here today. She is at Wartburg, and Coach Nate Oakland assisted under her. That's what I'm trying to say.
There you go. Now we're here.
Go.
I'm not sure that's all right either, but we're getting there.
It's only game 2.
So do you have a different perspective on game 2 than I do?
No, I'm just saying I've botched that, and we're only in game 2. We've still got 12 more for me to mess up.
See, for me, this is
Doreen with a long shot.
This is game 2 before I get to go into D3 Hoops hibernation mode again for about 6 weeks, and then come back for the playoffs, tanned, rested, and ready.
Hanchey will exit here as she has a scrape on her elbow, which is going to require some attention, and Destiny Smith will check in for her. So, yeah, to go back, Nate Oakland was the assistant of Randy Peterson.
We're going to give this one more shot here.
From 2009 to 2011. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, Henderson was at UNC Charlotte, right? That's where she went immediately after Co.
Yeah, I believe you're right. As a nice shot inside falls for Jenna Lehman, who is doing all she can to keep her team in this one, 59-38. She's playing pretty well in this one. Shot no good. Destiny Smith hauls down the rebound. Lehman's got 9 points now on the game. Leader is Hobbs with 12. As a shot from Smith is no good. Every once in a while it looks like Smith tries to take over herself. Noreen, though, finishes off the nice feed from Malvern. As that duo is going to be something to watch over the next few years.
Yeah.
Noreen's a senior. Sadly, no. We're going to watch it this year and this year only. Noreen's about the only...
That's the only non-freshman or sophomore, right?
Yeah, besides Katie Holland on this squad. Everybody else is freshmen and sophomores except for a random junior like Claire Fitzgerald. Nice feed inside, and the basket is good from Lehman, who has now got double digits on the evening. Hope you're enjoying this one. I'm Dave McHugh. He's Pat Coleman. Gordon Mann is here as well, as we've got it all covered for you. We even got interviews with student athletes and coaches throughout the 3 days of games as the shot from Henderson is missed.
Yeah, we had interviews before the 3 days of games.
Yeah. Holmes crashes out of bounds before feeding the ball off to Lehman, who's got 6 points quickly in this quarter. The deficit down to 19.
Usually we try to do this job with 4 or 5 on-air people. We're going to do it with 3. We're budget conscious this year, shall we say?
There we go. That's a good way of putting it. Rebound and basket is good from Pruitt. As
often I'm trying to spend a little bit of money at the end of the calendar year to try to avoid making a profit.
There you go, yeah.
This year, not an issue.
Yeah, well. The Loggers, by the way, just keeping so far the Co-Hawks at arm's reach.
Yeah, arms, torso, leg. But
look at Hobbs.
I tell you, Hobbs is hard. Hobbs is working really hard out there. Had a couple of opportunities where she's really had to fight through some traffic in order to get to the basket. She had a nice assist on Lehman's basket a couple of possessions ago. So, she's definitely been a bright spot for the Co-Hawks here this afternoon.
Out there for the Loggers, it is, after subs, it is Jackson along with Malvar, also Pruitt. Michaela Limper, the 5'6 junior guard from, come on, a Hawaiian name for you, has entered the game for the first time, number 22.
Nice, from Kapolei, Hawaii.
There you go. Got into the game. She's got possession of the ball top of the key.
Same high school as summer volleyball from Mililani, Hawaii.
Pruitt hits the long jumper from about 15 feet.
All those Hawaiian names are pronounced just the way they're spelled.
Which is actually outstanding.
Lots of I's and L's.
But that's
hard to tell.
Destiny Smith with another long shot, no good. Lang hauls in the rebound, and here come this Loggers the other direction. The other problem, too, is you can take out the subs for the Loggers. Their reserves aren't bad either.
Yeah.
And that's going to make it tough for teams like Co right now when Coach Payne is trying to let off the gas. Not much you can let off until you get to the third or fourth line at this point.
Well, meanwhile, if you're Brian Nemeth and Simpson sitting here watching this game in preparation for tomorrow, it's like that'd be an interesting matchup too. Both teams that like to push and like to go really deep into their benches, but obviously Puget Sound really talented.
Yeah, they're going deeper.
That too.
Ball is loose. Timeout called by Co. Saving the possession as everybody went sliding across the floor with no possession. Finally stopped and got the ball.
I mentioned it's a brand new floor here at the South Point Arena.
It looks the same, a little different. I think it's a darker stain.
The previous floor only was about 6 or 7 years old. It was actually purchased by Garth Brooks. He had his entourage here kind of rehearsing their arena show here in the arena, and he asked for the basketball floor to be set up in one of the adjoining ballrooms for his guys to blow off steam and that sort of thing. There's plenty of room in here. he said he liked the floor. They said he liked the floor so much that he purchased it from him. They had it installed in a building he had yet to build on his ranch or whatever, his compound, and they bought a brand new floor, and that's what we've got here. And meanwhile, sometimes we have issues here because of dust and that sort of thing. The equestrian center, the horse part of the arena, sometimes the air reverses wrong and stuff flows in here, but footing's been really good. It's been a really quality floor to play on so far. I've only heard one dead spot also in all the practices yesterday that I was here for in the 2 games here today.
That's not bad. By the way, I saw a little note about this arena. They use it for equestrian events 36 weeks of the year.
How about that?
That is a lot. This building is used constantly.
It's used for basketball about 3 weeks a year.
Well, they've got basketball, concerts, equestrian, bullfighting.
Motocross.
They've got motocross.
Wait, not bullfighting, really?
Well, bull rodeo, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
More
yeah, they don't do that 9 times out of 10 outside Spain and Portugal.
That's not legal.
I meant to say bull.
Cockfighting?
No, probably not. Long 3-back glass. Didn't even catch iron. No good. 5:25 left to go in a game that Puget Sound is in control of by 20.
In control is right. That's exactly
wrong
the
on our
description.
screen. I fixed it, folks. It's 65-45. You're paying attention at home. Pruitt, who is also having a really good game, buries the shot.
Yeah, Pruitt's third quarter wasn't great. Maybe didn't come out with as much energy, but she was out on the bench for a little while, came back in, and is looking good right now.
Thank all of you tuning in. We hope you're enjoying this one. Good crowd watching this on our YouTube channel. Long shot, no good. Fight for the rebound. Save from going out of bounds by Malvern. She's looking for help and finally gets the help she's needed from Limper. 4:42 left to go here, and the Loggers up by 22. They will obviously look to be improving to 9-1. Ranked number 23 in the D3Hoops.com top 25.
Why are they ranked only 23?
I don't vote in that one.
I don't vote in either of them. That's
which is guy to our left would be the best one to answer that question.
Kind of a refreshing feeling, actually.
I enjoy that. The men's poll this year is
the Puget Sound resume as they stand so far. 3 games against non-Division III opponents, which
tough to gauge.
Most voters won't pay much attention to. The loss is at Trinity back on the 17th of December. They beat Buena Vista the following day. They beat George Fox, of course, by 1. That's the signature win. Not a lot else to speak for right now.
That rematch I'm looking forward to.
Yep, they play Lewis and Clark on the 7th. They play Whitman on the 14th. So they've got, of course, most of their big games ahead of them, and of course almost all of conference play.
Good job of Limper that time, keeping her head aware of where the ball was. Got the steal on the kick out. Nice feed across the lane to Pruitt, who missed the shot. Pruitt hasn't missed a lot, and she and Lang discussed it. It was a great feed from Lang. This is a scary team. This really is. I'm really impressed with this Loggers squad.
Well, I mean, they're certainly executing here really well this afternoon. Obviously, it will, and having beaten George Fox, of course, that was a home game for Puget Sound, is something that gets people's attention.
Yep.
But they'll have to go back to Newburgh on the 27th. That's a big game. They'll have to go to Lewis and Clark. And of course, like I said, they haven't played Whitman at all. They haven't played Lewis and Clark at all, that sort of thing.
Cohawks forgot to bring somebody back to inbound the ball with.
Is that important?
It's kind of. Otherwise, you're throwing it 94 feet. For Puget Sound, they now lead by 24, have led by as many as 25. To show you how good they're playing today. There's a nice feed inside, off glass and rim, no good. Fight for the rebound. Malvern finally picks up the loose ball. They have called one timeout. It was in the first half. It was the use it or lose it timeout. It was on an 8-0 run by the Cohawks. Otherwise, Coach Payne has had it easy as another three-pointer is drilled by Simone Jackson, who shoots 36% from beyond the arc. And so far in this game is 4 of 8.
Biggest lead of the game.
Biggest lead of the game is exactly right, 72-45, as she picks up the rebound and looking to end this one now. Not that it hasn't been over, but try to put an exclamation point, not an never mind.
We could put an explanation point on things, too.
As Pruitt gets the steal. We'll come the other direction. 2:30 left to go, holding on to the ball, and we'll hand it off to Jackson. They will now try and scrub as much of the shot clock off as they can. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Pat getting ready to tuck, or at least depart. I'm not sure what he's getting ready to do, to be honest with you. Three-pointer, I think? No, 2. They're going to call that a 2. 74-45 now the lead, the biggest of the game, as this is now thoroughly in the Loggers' control, and it has been for a while as Lang collects the rebound, and once again they will try and scrub some clock.
Clock's pretty clean.
And a timeout called strictly for the subs here, as they will get 4 of the players off and will go deep into the bench here. Let's see, for Puget Sound entering the game for the first time, Lillian Olson, the 6'3" post freshman from Carmichael, California. They'll get all 5 in. Number 4, Katie Holland, 5'7" senior from Washington. Ununclaw, I believe, the guard, is into the game. Mara Henderson re-enters the game. Megan Hamill re-enters the game, but we haven't seen her in a while. And also into the game is Rayanne Allen, who is into the game once again. So getting deep into that bench now with 1:45 left. Nice feed inside, and it gets it to fall. Olsen's first look is good for 2. She's got a nice move inside as well.
Yeah, and the team very excited to see her get that first bucket right away. I had to look down to see if it was her first points of the year. It was not.
No, she's averaging 2.5 per game. That's just her 3rd game, though, that she has played in. A lot of size there for Olsen at 6'3". That's going to be around for 4 years.
Right,
and a block, and it goes out of bounds.
Right, and 6'3", and with enough.
Oh yeah,
enough heft that she can hold her own.
She doesn't need to build into a senior frame. A lot of players come in freshmen; they're a little bit on the smaller side.
Exactly.
She's already going to have a frame that most seniors would love to have. She might be pretty dangerous as we get more subs into the game for Puget Sound. Now entering for the first time players that are not even on my roster.
That shouldn't happen.
Well, it happens on occasions, as we only have so much room on our system.
Here's the game program has everything.
That's where I was looking. Number 11, Cassidy Doherty, the 5'7" freshman from Sammamish, Washington, into the game. Also into the game, Kristen Hafferman, the 5'8" sophomore from Evergreen, Colorado, into the game. We should point out Coe did get 2 points in the last trip down. It's 76-45. For the Cohawks, into the game now is Erica Perlowitz, the 5'7" freshman from Waukesha, Wisconsin.
You could work for ESPN if you could pronounce that.
I knew that one was a problem. Also in for the Loggers, number 5, Summer Bolabol, the 5'6" sophomore from Mililani, Hawaii. As we have gone deep for both teams, understandably so. Casey Norton, also the 6' freshman forward from Mount Vernon, Iowa, into the game for the Cohawks. 44.3 seconds left as Puget Sound's going to improve to 9-1 overall, and Cohawks are going to fall to 5-6 here in this one. They, of course, have 2 games, or each have a game left tomorrow. Co will start our programming with a game against Pacific Lutheran at 10 a.m. Puget Sound will follow with their game against Simpson at noon. Ball out of bounds. 26.4 seconds left. Shot clock is off, and you got to figure Puget Sound will just scrub the clock here. Try to feed inside. Getting her hands on it is Olsen. Unable to get it to fall. Will go out of bounds with 8.1 seconds left. And Cohawks will try and maybe finish with some pride here. 2.5 seconds. Feed to the elbow. And shot clock goes. The game clock goes off before the shot. And that is going to be your final, as Puget Sound wins this one 76-47. Again, improving to 9-1 overall, whereas the Cohawks will now fall to 5-6 overall. Again, the Cohawks will start programming tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time, as they'll take on Pacific Lutheran in the Lutz first game of the tournament, whereas Puget Sound will take on Simpson, who we saw play the last game. That one will take place at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Puget Sound and Co will be the first team to be done with the tournament, just not even halfway through. Pat Coleman's going to talk to head coach Lori Payne here momentarily after she is finished with the handshakes and a quick hello to her team at midcourt. Don't forget, coming up, we've got one more women's game for today. It'll be Wisconsin-Eau Claire versus Stevens, a Stevens squad who started off in the preseason top 25 and is off to an 0 start. But in the meantime, Pat is with Lori Payne and joins us now. Pat?
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Coach, man, first of all, we're going to get final stats here. Of course, not a whole lot to pick apart for you guys. The only thing that I saw is I wondered how you felt about the way your team came out of, first of all, the last couple minutes of the second quarter and then the first couple minutes of the third quarter. It looked like maybe some of the intensity wasn't there when you guys had that big lead.
Yeah, we went through a time where I think our energy lacked a little bit. And I think it was fatigue, being the first game back from Christmas. And we have our starters playing some big minutes, especially our guards. And they had tough matchups. I mean, Coe can shoot the ball, and fortunately for us, they weren't hitting tonight. But we definitely had that fatigue factor, which I think hurt us a little bit.
But talk about, of course, all the great things that you guys did today. First of all, we were just impressed by, well, let's see, lots of players here. So talk a little bit about, guys, how that intensity helps fuel you guys and how it drives what you guys do.
Well, I think we have depth right now, especially getting some players back healthy. Jamie Lang comes in and is a difference maker for us. She played soccer in the fall, and so she comes in and had 14 rebounds last week and had 13 tonight. And she's just a beast underneath, and that's an element that we've been missing, that depth in the post. Obviously we had a player go down tonight, so got to check on her because she's a big rebounder for us. But I think rebounding is something that really fuels our energy and gets us going on the offensive end.
All right, Coach, congratulations and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you much.
Back to Dave.
Thank you, Pat. And again, Puget Sound the winner, 76-47. And because of their quick work, we will start our third game on time. Well, the second game only started a few minutes late. But our third game of the day, Eau Claire versus Stevens in women's basketball action, will start on time in about 32 and a half minutes. We will go off air from this stream and start our other stream for the next game. In the meantime, let's give you the final stats. For the Coe women, they shot 20 of 65 at 30.8%, 3 for 28 from beyond the arc at 10.7%, and 4 for 8 from the free throw line. For Puget Sound, they shot 34 of 64 at 53.1%, 6 of 18 from beyond the arc, which is 33.3%, and only got to the free throw line for 2 shots in the first half and buried those 2. Leading scorer for Coe, it was Alina Hobbs with 15 points. Leading rebounder was 7 as well, 13 points for Jenna Lehman to lead the team. For Puget Sound, they were led by Elizabeth Pruitt with 23 and 11 of 17 shooting, including 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. She also had 6 rebounds. Second on the team with 18 points was Simone Jackson on 7 of 13 shooting and 4 for 8 from beyond the arc. And 11 points for Lexis Noreen on 5 of 8 shooting, 1 for 1 from beyond the arc. Leading rebounders were Caitlin Malvar and Claire Fitzgerald with 7 each. Again, Puget Sound improves to 9-1. Coe falls to 5-6. They will again take tomorrow, where Coe will take on Pacific Lutheran at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 o'clock for Puget Sound, as they take on Simpson. Coming up, it's Eau Claire versus Stevens on our other stream. We will be stopping this one and starting the other one. I'm not sure who's calling the game, Gordon, Pat, or myself, but we'll figure it out. You are watching the 7th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Once again, this broadcast presented in part with the production truck software by Blue Frame Technology. We thank them for their partnership to help present the 7th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in about a half hour with game number 3.